There's no liar quite so clever as the one who lives inside our own chest. He doesn't come with horns or hisses. He whispers in our own voice, with our own face, wearing our own reasoning. That's the first trick of self-deception. It doesn't feel like lying. It feels like surviving, like adjusting the story just enough to keep the gears of the day turning, to soften the edge of regret, to keep our reflection from wincing too hard in the mirror. The lies we tell ourselves are rarely grand. They're small, habitual, domesticated. Things like, I had no choice. That's just how I am. They started it. It's not that big a deal. I'm over it. I'm doing fine. These are the easy phrases we use to slide past a moment that might otherwise demand we stop, reflect, adjust, apologize, grow. But growth, as it turns out, is expensive, and we often prefer a cheaper version of peace, one where the story always casts us in the better light. The real trouble with self-deception isn't just moral, it's structural. You start building a life on false beams, and eventually the weight of it all starts to bend. You find yourself out of alignment. You wake up tired, brittle, strangely resentful, because somewhere along the way your soul got split from your story. Your heart knows the truth, but your head's been busy filing reports that say otherwise. That creates tension, and tension, left unresolved, turns into damage. You lie to yourself long enough, and you start needing other people to lie to you too. You surround yourself with friends who flatter. You avoid questions that pierce. You get angry at anyone who holds up a mirror that isn't edited. And the longer you live this way, the harder it gets to remember what you really felt or wanted or feared before the editing started. But here's the thing. The soul keeps records, quietly, without judgment, without threat. It knows when something isn't right, even if we've decided not to look. That's why self-deception doesn't bring relief. At best, it buys delay. At worst, it builds a life you can't actually live in, one you have to maintain with constant explanation, constant justification, constant effort to keep the story straight. So what can we do? First, name the impulse. That part of you that wants to round off the corner, shift the blame, massage the narrative. Don't demonize it, but don't let it steer the ship. That part of you is scared. It wants safety. It wants approval. It wants to feel okay. And that's not evil. That's human. But safety bought with lies is no safety at all. It's just exile with wallpaper. Second, practice telling the truth in small ways. Not dramatic confessions or public spectacles, just little course corrections. When you hear yourself blaming someone else entirely, pause. Ask, what part did I play? When you feel the need to insist, I'm fine, stop and ask, am I? Not to wallow, but to witness. To be a place where your own truth is welcome. That's what honesty is, not cruelty, not bluntness, just a refusal to exile what's real. Third, seek out one or two people in your life who are strong enough to tell you the truth. Not because they enjoy confronting you, but because they care enough to keep you close to yourself. These people are rare. Treasure them. Invite their feedback. Don't argue every time they give it. Let it wash over you. Let it sting if it has to. The sting will pass, but the wisdom may stay. Fourth, remember that truth is not always dramatic. Sometimes it's subtle. It's the quiet sense that you're not aligned, that your smile is performing, that your convictions are borrowed, that your peace is purchased. When you feel that hum of dissonance, don't rush to silence it. Sit with it. Let it speak. Often it's just your deeper self trying to get your attention. Finally, and this is key, forgive yourself for having lied. We all do it. We all have. Sometimes we needed to. Sometimes we didn't know better. But the only way back to yourself is through mercy. Not indulgence, but mercy. You don't get clean by whipping yourself. You get clean by coming home, gently, repeatedly, choosing again and again to live in the light, even if it means living more humbly than you'd planned. The lies we tell ourselves are mostly stories meant to keep us safe, but safety is not the highest good. Truth is. And the truth, when spoken kindly, doesn't destroy. It liberates, it realigns. It gives us back the ground beneath our feet, the sound of our own name, the freedom to live with a heart that doesn't flinch when it's alone in the quiet. And that, dear one, is worth everything.